What is up, guys? Sumi here with ThoughtCast, and today I'm going to talk about why there are so many simps in modern day society. Okay, so let's talk about the word simp. So a lot of people don't even know why it's called simp, and to be honest, there's not really a clear explanation on it. This word appeared back in the New York Times in 1923, and it entered the dictionary more so in 1946, and it really defines someone that is very foolish. It doesn't necessarily mean what we consider it to be in modern-day definition. The modern-day version of simp kind of refers to a guy that's overly obsessed with women, that's giving women attention, that absolutely don't even care about it. Today, we consider a simp a guy that constantly DMs a girl, messages her, buys her things, overdoes it when he's trying to approach a woman, when a woman is clearly not interested. And a lot of times in these situations, this woman is looking at this guy more so for attention instead of actually trying to be courted by him. She just looks at him as a loser. And so that's what it means in today's world. Back in the day, it just means a silly or foolish person. So let's break it down a little bit more and explain why there's so many simps in today's world. And to understand this concept, right, there's going to be a real breakdown of it, a real technical analysis, so stay with me here. You have to understand the evolution of really feminism, women's rights, and the evolution of women in general, because that's really what caused a lot of guys to turn into simps today. Back in the day, you had men making a lot of money, right, compared to women. And, you know, a man's making $50,000, $60,000. That's a lot of money back in the day, first off. And even in today's world, that's the average income for a lot of guys. Some people are blown away by this statistic, but that is really what it is. So you had men making the money and being the breadwinners, while women were more so, you know, in the house, cooking, cleaning, traditional roles. Introduce feminism, introduce women's rights, wonderful, amazing. Women are making just as much money as men are right now, which in theory is a great thing. The problem is that women are hypergamous by nature. Women want the best guy. Women want the guy that's doing better than her. If you ask an average woman in today's culture what kind of characteristics you look for in a man, they want a man that's their equal or doing better. They want a man that's taller, that's stronger, that's faster, that's making more money. A man needs to be a leader for her. And you don't follow someone that's worse than you. You follow someone that's better than you. So it makes sense in a realistic definition. But the problem is, when women are making just as much money as men, you're knocking out a lot of potential candidates because you're just doing better. So a lot of women that are making six figures and up, you're knocking out 85% of the dating pool of men out there for you just on a financial aspect. And income is one of the biggest things that we kind of come back to. It's the only numerical measurement besides height that you can kind of compartmentalize someone by. So women will look for a guy that's over 6 foot, making six figures, or making more than her. This is the typical mindset of the younger woman in today's generation. And I'm not saying there's women that are outside of this, and I'm not saying that this is all women, but these are the majority of women. So when you have men not making as much money, and women going for the top guy, that's the problem. That's the first part of the problem, right? In terms of the creation of the simp. The second thing is women have access to celebrities and athletes now with social media. You know, with social media, a lot of girls are getting a lot of attention. You know, the average girl is getting 20, 30, 40 DMs a day from simps. And I'll explain why these guys are sending this DM. But the point is, women have access to the top-level guys, and we see this lifestyle of, oh, a young guy driving a Ferrari in a beautiful landscape. And a lot of young girls are like, okay, I want that. I want a certain lifestyle for myself. I'm a 10 out of 10. I'm not here to argue your value or say that you're not this or not that, but a lot of women think they're 10 out of 10s and deserve this lifestyle. So a lot of women go after these top-level guys, and these top-level guys have access to every single girl out there, which causes them to have short-term mating strategies, which causes them to be more so manipulative in nature and have this Machiavellian dating strategy with a mindset more so on hooking up with women, because in today's culture, you don't need to be married to hook up with a girl. So these guys that are in the top 1%, 5%, 4%, they're just hooking up with a lot of girls because they can get sex very easily. They can get access to women very easily. The celebrities, the athletes, the guys that are making a lot of money, they can get pretty much any girl they want because every girl is going for the same kind of guy. A lot of girls are going for the guys that are 6 foot, making over 6 figures, 7 figures, and that are in shape. That's really all it is. And so you have a monopoly on women with these type of guys. And that leaves the large majority of men that are not getting any attention, that are sexually frustrated, and now they have access to pornography at levels that you've never seen before. Like, the pornography today is insane. And the most common search term when it comes to pornography is typically youth or teenager. It's kind of messed up. I'm not going to get too much into it, but a lot of these porn scenes have violence. They're very dominant, and they're very aggressive. And they create this narrative of sex and intimacy that isn't really real. I had a great conversation with a friend of mine who is an ex-porn star, and he completely turned his life around. And he told me a lot about how the porn industry manipulates people into thinking that this is reality, but it's really not. So these guys that are very sexually repressed, they're very frustrated, they see this pornography. And they're sitting behind a computer screen and they're just kind of getting themselves off to these violent scenes with younger women, and they start thinking that they deserve more. They start creating this mindset of this is what intimacy really is because they don't know. And that's when they start simping aggressively, reaching out to women desperately, shooting their shot at every girl they can have. And so the average girl has a ton of messages in her inbox from 30, 40, 50 guys a day telling her how beautiful she is, telling her all the things that she wants to hear. And she doesn't understand that this is not relationship intention, but this is more so sexual attention. And so it builds an ego in women. And these women now will reject guys even more. And it creates a very dangerous situation where women are just ignoring and rejecting men that are quote unquote average. And these average men are getting very upset by it. And this is what causes male suicide, depression. I think a lot of suicide comes from sexual frustration, keeping it real. If a lot of guys were in a happy, healthy relationship with the woman that they care about and that cares about them, I think that a lot of suicide and a lot of male depression will be alleviated. But because these men are not getting a biological need fulfilled and they're not able to access women, and the gap between not getting women and getting a ton of women is so big, you have a massive situation that's unfolding. These guys see athletes and celebrities take tons of girls that they want to be in relationships with, and they see these celebrities and athletes break these girls' hearts, and these girls, instead of coming to a regular guy at a reasonable amount of time, they still chase negative situation after negative situation until they get to a point where their sexual marketplace value is so low that they then settle with an average guy. But their first choice would have been some celebrity or athlete or somebody that's doing very well. And this creates a lot of tension, a lot of animosity, and it's causing a lot of problems in modern day dating. A lot of guys think that women are not good. A lot of guys have a negative outlook on the dating market today because they understand that, look, if I don't have six figures or a lot of money coming in, or if I'm not a good looking guy, I'm not going to get any girl, and I'm just going to be a stepping stone for her to get another guy. On the flip side, a lot of girls are frustrated because they can't find a good guy. They can't find a good guy, but the good guys that they want are not just good guys in a relationship aspect. They're also high earners, successful guys, which is hard to find. When you have guys that receive an influx of attractive women, the ego builds up in them as well. It's also bad for those guys because they never actually settle down and have good families. But when you have a lot of men simping and desperately trying to get with these women, you have an influx of this attention, which causes the ego to build up in those women as well. So you have egotistical, chasing egotistical, and there's a whole majority category of very sexually frustrated, sexually depressed that causes problems in society. I want you to understand that this is a very superficial explanation of it. I've generalized quite a bit, and I don't really mean to offend anybody with this kind of information, but this is really what's happening in today's society. A lot of men are losing. A lot of men are not having sex. The majority of men under 25 are not getting any sexual action on a consistent basis, while the majority of women under 25 are getting a lot of action. Those women are considered valuable in the dating marketplace because women have a different timeline when it comes to sex and intimacy than men do. So all these guys that are 21, 22 see their peers, see their girlfriends that they went to college with, whoever it is, getting attention from high-level male celebrities, high-level male CEOs, whoever it might be, that have built themselves out. And they start to see themselves losing and fading away in society. Then they have to throw their life away to go grind in a career, to go grind in business, to build their worth, to find a woman that would marry them for the quote-unquote right reasons, when in reality, they're just building up the lifestyle that they want. Guys, big advice to you here is build a lifestyle. Build a lifestyle that's going to naturally attract women. You're going to understand this the hard way, but women today really look for value day one. And on the flip side, girls, you need to find good guys early on. It's better to date a good guy that's going to love you and reciprocate to you more than trying to go chase someone that has this magical lifestyle. Because if he is getting a lot of attention from you because of his lifestyle, trust me, he's going to be getting attention from other women. You want to find that sweet spot, that happy medium. Really, a guy that's building is what you want. A guy that has that vision, that goal. And if you line yourself up with him and you build that partnership, that's where the best relationships really come about. Look, 55% of relationships are ending in divorce. 15% of people are separated, and then there's another 7 to 8% of people that are more so just married because they don't believe in divorce. So you have 78% of people really failing in marriages and relationships. How do the other 20% really make it successful? They focus on their core values and partnerships and really just being in that loyal commitment towards one another without really breaking those vows. That's how it works out. I hope this makes sense, guys. Shout out to K&D for fulfilling their commitment to us, for allowing us to use this amazing penthouse suite to film our podcast. And shout out to them. If you're ever looking for real estate in the Cleveland area, they're definitely the ones you need to hit up. And guys, if you ever want to connect with me, my links are down in the description below. Until next time, Sumi out.